Truly, there are 5 fundamental aspects of our existence that we can trace back to the earliest moments of our being, guided by God. It's a testament to a greater plan how these elements persist and shape our journey through life. Let's delve into the first one: the openness to experiences. Imagine holding a newborn, a precious soul entrusted to our care, already showing a range of curiosity that reflects the awe-inspiring wonder of creation. Place that infant on the ground and observe how they eagerly explore the world around them, every step guided by an unseen force. As they progress through childhood, this curiosity evolves into a sacred thirst for knowledge. Each lesson imparted to them becomes a divine revelation, and the prospect of discovery fills their heart with sacred anticipation rather than worldly apprehension. This inherent inclination towards embracing the mysteries of creation lays the groundwork for their spiritual journey, paving the way for a lifetime of divine exploration and enlightenment. How open someone is to new experiences plays a big role in how creative they tend to be. People who are open to trying new things usually show higher levels of creativity. This connection comes from the fact that being open exposes you to lots of different things, which helps spark creative ideas. On the flip side, people who tend to be closed-minded often stick to what they know and like routine. They prefer sticking to familiar places and activities, avoiding anything too new or different. For them, keeping things simple is the way to go. It's worth mentioning that neither way of thinking is better than the other. It just depends on where someone fits on the scale of life experiences. People who are open to trying new things can find a deep sense of inner peace and satisfaction by exploring various resources like books, conversations, or workshops where different viewpoints and insights are shared. What's wonderful about this is the opportunity to uncover meaningful truths hidden within these exchanges. On the other hand, those who prefer sticking to familiar routines might feel more at ease in a structured office environment where familiar practices govern the day. It's essential to understand that our openness to spiritual growth isn't just a simple yes or no, it's more like a spectrum. At times, we might become more open to new ideas and experiences through the lessons life throws our way. The choices we make along our spiritual journey hold the potential to mold and refine our beliefs, guiding us closer to our ultimate purpose.
Now, the second aspect, known as conscientiousness, although I prefer to think of it as discipline and organization. Let's see if babies show any signs of being disciplined or organized. It's quite tricky to spot such behaviors in an infant. So let's consider a slightly older child instead. Imagine a hard-working student in a classroom, carefully arranging their notebook and cleaning up their pencil case. Then the teacher says, "Remember, there's a test on the 9th. Make sure to write it in your planner." Ah, the trusty planner, a familiar sight from our school days. In it, they record, "History test on the 9th, project due on the 14th. What's really impressive here is how well organized they are. It's clear that they'll submit that project promptly on the 14th. This shows a commendable example of discipline and organization in action. If a child naturally tends to be responsible, organized, and disciplined, they're likely to finish their tasks well before time, making sure everything is neatly taken care of. But in the same group of children, there may be one who doesn't quite share those same qualities. This child might only realize, maybe a bit late, that today is the deadline for handing in assignments. They might casually say, "Oh, so today's the 14th and everyone's submitting their work." Even though they seem relaxed about it, it shows how serious the situation is. This observation leads to a deeper conversation about the lasting characteristics we develop from childhood. It's interesting to think about why some people have habits that don't match what society expects. For example, consider a situation where a child, not because they're mean but because of how they naturally are, struggles to meet deadlines. Sadly, instead of understanding this as just a part of who they are, they often get told off repeatedly, seeing their behavior as a problem rather than a trait. This points out the unkindness in how society sometimes doesn't make room for everyone's differences.
Imagine a situation where such a child is put into a strict, disciplined school environment, maybe like a military-style school with its strict rules and ceremonies. It's no wonder that person would feel overwhelmed and like they don't belong there. Understanding why people often procrastinate gives us a peek into the challenges of being disorganized, though it doesn't cover everything. The problem usually comes down to figuring out what to do first, making it hard to get things done on time. When we think about our own characteristics, like how reliable we are, it gives us a more detailed view. Personally, I'm pretty organized in some parts of my life, but there are definitely some that I'm not very organized about. Even though I try to be responsible, I struggle with staying organized consistently. I aim for perfection in what I do, but sometimes I slip up, and that's when I get reminded, "Didn't you say you'd bring that text?" A sign of getting sidetracked by daily tasks. Remembering the busy mornings when I'm rushing to get the kids to school and worrying about what I forgot shows how difficult this can be. But making progress in personal growth shows that we're moving forward, and it takes real effort to deal with our natural tendencies. Working on improving ourselves becomes a symbol of trying to overcome those characteristics, which in the end helps us make progress and succeed. In our community, we have a variety of people, each with their own way of doing things. Some might not be as organized or careful in their daily tasks. It's not necessarily because they're trying to cause trouble, but it can make things a bit trickier to handle smoothly. Still, we've been talking about this lack of organization, like we mentioned before. The third aspect is very interesting, the extroversion. It reveals deep truths about how people connect and find meaning. The idea of extroversion is quite intriguing, especially when we think about how it affects social interactions. Often, when we talk about extroversion, we mainly focus on being social, but there's more to it than just that. We see that it's more than just being social. It's a way of showing the divine plan for human relationships. Think about a lively, outgoing child. Their essence mirrors the beauty of relationships that God intended. Their excitement and love for being around others aren't just personality traits, but show the natural desire for companionship given to them by a higher power. In the big picture of life, each person is unique, and the extrovert's life is woven together with others, creating a colorful pattern of connected lives. On a regular day, as they eagerly plan hangouts and look forward to spending time with others, they're embodying the essence of divine love and togetherness. Their joy in being with others reflects the happiness that comes from forming deep connections. Like Matthew chapter 18 verse 20 says, "For where 2 or 3 gather in my name, there am I with them."
We also have introverts, who find value in quiet moments alone. In their solitude, they find comfort in the presence of the divine, renewing their spirits in connection with the sacred. Just as extroverts thrive in social settings, introverts find strength in moments of silence and self-reflection, guided by their faith. In the balance between extroversion and introversion, we see the delicate harmony set by God. It's through this balance that we understand how different souls navigate social life. Each person, whether outgoing or reserved, has a special role in the unfolding of life, contributing to the human experience with their unique talents and perspectives. Introverts, those who thrive in calmer, more introspective environments, often feel the need for some quiet time after social gatherings. For example, even if they can muster up the energy to go to a party on a Friday night, they usually reserve the weekends for recovery. This recovery often involves simple pleasures, like watching TV shows or reading a book from the comfort of their couch, where they can relax and recharge. When expressing the need for time to rest, they usually say, "I need to rest. I need to recharge my battery." Interestingly, it's quite common for introverts to be drawn to each other in relationships, finding solace in quiet companionship. Their preference for solitude or enjoying relaxed activities, such as a casual visit to the mall, might be rooted in a fundamental aspect of their personality, rather than simply a passing preference. On the other hand, extreme extroverts thrive on social interaction and may constantly seek out lively environments. Observing these differing approaches to socializing provides fascinating insights into interpersonal dynamics and communication styles. However, delving too deeply into this subject could consume considerable time, given its many subtleties and complexities.
When we think about extroverts, it's clear they tend to be straightforward in how they communicate. Unlike introverts, who might express their feelings and thoughts more subtly, extroverts are more likely to openly share their emotions. For example, if an extrovert has feelings for someone, they're likely to straightforwardly say something like, "I really care about you." This direct way of communicating is typical of extroverted people. On the other hand, understanding the emotions of introverts can be tricky because they often don't openly express affection or preferences. This difference in communication styles between extroverts and introverts highlights the various interpersonal skills people have. In the complex realm of human emotions, there's a specific aspect dedicated to social connections. Some people naturally excel in this area, while others may find it more challenging. This natural diversity in social skills influences how people interact with each other, showing the intricate nature of human connections. The fourth aspect to consider is agreeableness, a quality often overlooked, but deeply intertwined with the divine principle of empathy. Empathy, as an expression of our spiritual understanding, enables us to perceive and resonate with the emotions of others, seeking always to ensure their comfort and well-being. However, within the realm of agreeableness there is a delicate balance, as those who possess an abundance of this virtue may feel hesitant to assert their own needs or limits due to a sincere desire not to displease others. While being agreeable is definitely a good quality in the eyes of the divine, it's important to figure out how it fits into your own spiritual journey. Imagine someone who's just really nice. They walk into a store, and even though they don't really want to buy anything, they end up doing it anyway, just because they don't want to hurt the shop attendant's feelings. Sometimes, when we're trying to be nice, we might end up doing things we don't really want to do, just to keep the peace. But there's a danger there, you know. We could end up going against what we really believe in, just to avoid conflict. So, as we try to grow as people, it's important to find a middle ground between caring for others and standing up for ourselves. We have to listen to our inner voice and seek guidance from God in prayer, so we can stay true to who we are while still being kind to others.
The idea we're talking about here is how people vary in how easygoing they are. To explain this amplitude, imagine a classroom scenario where the teacher asks for silence. The people who are very easygoing just go along with it without much fuss. On the other hand, those on the opposite end of the spectrum, showing less easygoingness, might openly question the teacher's request. They speak up, wondering why the lesson matters and offering different perspectives without much care for how it might affect others. This lack of concern for getting along often leads to arguments, as they care more about saying what they think than keeping the peace. Finding a middle ground between being easygoing and argumentative is important for good social interactions. People who lean too much towards being easygoing might end up holding back their own opinions, which could lead to resentment or keeping feelings bottled up. Those who tend to argue a lot could learn to handle disagreements with sensitivity and understanding. It is important to note that there are good and bad sides to both extremes. In any social gathering, having calm and peaceful people around definitely brings a sense of tranquility, making the atmosphere feel blessed. On the other side, those who enjoy lively discussions show admirable passion in defending what they believe in, even when faced with challenges. So, understanding and wisely handling our approach to finding common ground is important for nurturing meaningful conversations and building lasting spiritual connections. It's important to recognize that people who enjoy debating often prioritize expressing their beliefs above everything else. This means that each person contributes significantly to the fabric of our relationships. This exchange of thoughts and feelings undoubtedly adds depth and complexity to our conversations, making them meaningful and worth reflecting on.
And the last one, which is where I wanted to get to, perhaps it makes sense to you: emotional instability. Let me explain what that means. When we talk about emotional instability, we're looking at how a person naturally reacts to things rather than just blaming it on what they've been through in life. Think about a newborn baby, still very new to the world, who shows signs of being easily upset. These individuals are extra sensitive, which means they often get upset easily. When they come across something new, they might feel scared and uncomfortable for a long time. For example, going to a new place might make them feel anxious, and they might not feel comfortable with people who aren't in their close circle right away. To explain it further, think about how most people might feel a little uneasy or confused in a stressful situation, but people with emotional instability feel that way for a longer time. Simple things, like trusting someone new to take care of them, can make them really worried, and it might take them a while to get used to it. Basically, emotional instability means being more easily thrown off balance emotionally, which can make it take longer to feel okay again when things change. Finding peace and calmness in life is really important for people, and it's closely tied to their faith. When you think about it, being at peace depends a lot on how connected you feel with God. Imagine feeling totally overwhelmed by anxiety, like it's hitting you at full force. Everything seems so much harder to deal with. Even the smallest criticism can feel like a huge blow, making you question your worth and your purpose in life. But if you're deeply rooted in your faith, criticism might still sting, but you're able to bounce back easier because you trust that everything's happening for a reason. Criticism might hit everyone the same, but those who have a strong faith can shake it off quicker, finding strength in what they believe in. So, finding inner peace isn't just about psychology. It's also about your journey with your faith and how it shapes your life.
Here is a divine perspective for those seeking guidance. When children show fear or discomfort around everyday things, such as darkness, rain, or similar elements, it suggests their inherent sensitivity. These kids we're looking after are pretty sensitive and need us to really pay attention to them and show we care. They're not just scared, they're really open to all sorts of feelings, both spiritual and worldly. As they go through tough times, like tough schoolwork or dealing with problems, they might find it hard, and their faith might waver when things are uncertain. So it's up to us not just to keep them safe, but also to understand them and give them support, both spiritually and emotionally. We shouldn't forget that there's something special about them. In their fragile little selves, there's the potential for us to learn and grow spiritually. As we reflect on the significant impact of emotional ups and downs and the pursuit of inner calm, we're reminded of how faith can bring comfort and fortitude. Amid life's uncertainties, our belief in a higher power serves as a reliable anchor, guiding us through difficult times and illuminating our path with divine vision. Let's join in prayer, appreciative of the chance to find solace and strength in our faith, and let's reach out to those who may be particularly sensitive, nurturing their souls with care and empathy. Together, through prayer, let's find sanctuary, embracing the belief that with divine grace, we can endure any challenge and emerge even stronger, wiser, and more deeply connected to the wellspring of peace and love. Dear gracious and everlasting Creator, we gather as seekers, bound together by the deep sense of purpose and truth that gives meaning to our existence. With open hearts, we embrace the experiences of life, much like delicate buds unfurling in the warmth of the sun. We stand in awe of the wonders that surround us. Grant us the strength and bravery to venture into the unknown realms of knowledge and wisdom, and to dance freely amidst the mysteries that light our path.
You weave discipline and order into the very fabric of our lives, guiding us towards harmony. As we navigate the complexities of life, may we embrace diligence and organization, viewing each task as a sacred offering unto you. Bless us with discernment, so we may cherish human connections in all their forms, be it in lively gatherings or quiet moments of reflection. In empathy, we discover solace and fortitude, recognizing the divine spark in every soul. Teach us to move through life with grace and compassion, seeking unity without compromising our truth, and extending kindness without forsaking our integrity. We bow before you, O Compassionate One, keeping in mind those who battle emotional storms. Wrap them in your tender mercy and grant them the peace that surpasses all understanding, so they may find comfort in your love. As we offer our prayers, may they rise like fragrant incense to your divine presence, tokens of gratitude and supplication. Guide us on the path of enlightenment and understanding, so that our lives may reflect the eternal grace you bestow upon us. Amen. Thank you deeply for walking alongside us until this moment. Your steadfast presence and commitment mean the world to us, beyond what words can capture. If these words have touched your heart, please share an Amen in the comments. Join us on this extraordinary journey by following our channel and becoming part of something truly meaningful. Your time, attention, and support have meant everything to us.